Hello and welcome to the 9th edition of Caltex Video Magazine. I'm your host, Gloria Barron. From historic world events to environmental success, there are many exciting Caltex developments to talk about. As we saw in our last edition, the Caltex Global Human Resource Development System represents an immense change in the way careers are developed in the Caltex world. The system is now being implemented throughout the company. Let's take a look at the activities surrounding the launch of the new system in Dallas.
You're in charge. Here is where we start, and I think that you better be prepared to take some responsibility, some accountability, smile about it, let's have lots of humor, and let's take some direction. As they say, let's start our engines.
In May, Chairman David Law Smith officially launched the Caltex Global Human Resource Development System in Dallas. Attendees were invited to tour 6 innovative display areas, or pit stops, each detailing a different aspect of the HR development system. The pit stops were designed to tie into the theme of getting people in the driver's seat with names like What's in It for Me Lane, Interstate Caltex 2036, and Driver's Seat Street.
When we opened the doors up, I saw a lot of wide eyes and a lot of mouths opening. I think this is just something that they're not used to seeing, and however, when people are leaving, they're excited about it and they're saying this is great. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and I think people are really going to be ready to put themselves in the driver's seat and go back and take charge of their own careers.
This personal information that we have over here.
The new Caltex Virtual People Place database was the star at this pit stop, called Get Real Virtually Court. The People Place provides consistency of information between the employee, his or her manager, and human resources. It is the future of career development at Caltex.
We're really getting that feeling of a new era. You know, there's a new feeling in Caltex, and we're really trying to make people see that things are changing. You know, we're keeping up with the rest of the world, and the future is here.
George Barnett offers his perspective on the changes taking place.
When I joined Caltex, there was a vice president of personnel, and you never met him. Nobody knew who he was, and they had layers and layers and layers, and people did what they were told for 30 years. You know, and so now what's different is there's delayering. You know, people who work for me are 4 steps from the chairman. So you talk about the vertical progression of a career, it has to take another dimension. It has to be lateral. People have to look for new experiences and new capabilities and sell themselves as you know, specialized knowledge in several areas.
The HR development system is a continuous process which thrives on people taking charge of their careers. The Dallas launch was successful in that it was a creative and fun way to get people into the driver's seat.
In Japan, a Koa oil power plant project has been the catalyst for deregulation of electric utilities in the country. Deregulation is bringing new opportunities for Caltex and Koa Oil. Here's the latest on this developing story.
A project group from Koa Oil met with Caltex project planners in Dallas recently. Koa Oil is the first oil refining company in Japan to expand into the power generation market. One power plant under construction in Osaka will be online next year.
This is actually a tremendous development for us because it allows our companies to diversify its sources of income, you know, to upgrade some of the high sulfur residuum fuel oils into you know, better products such as electric power. And yeah, we're very excited about it. And we are now working on a second project, this time at our Marifu refinery, and this time to supply power into the grid that's nearby Marifu.
Success in planning and developing the project near Osaka is a major milestone. As a test project for Japan, its success actually opened the door for the entire industry to be deregulated.
As you know, Japan is a mature country, and refining industry is also matured. So Koa was looking for the stable and sustainable revenue outside refining business, but that business should have a large synergy with refining business. And then the Koa set the strategy to go into the power business ahead of competitions, and Core actually got that opportunities 3 years ago.
So power project is very attractive to increase our refining margin to produce power and sell the power to the large amount of electricity to the power company.
Within the Global Information Initiative, there are 3 teams handling the Internet and intranet. They are the business uses of the Internet, the business uses of the intranet, and the infrastructure support for both. In this issue of Caltex Video Magazine, we will cover the Internet.
www.caltex.com is coming. A team of 7 from CPC has been engaged in developing a website for Caltex Petroleum Corporation. The site is set to be up and running in October. Talking to us about the activities of the business uses of the Internet team is the leader of the team, Seifu Yegezu.
Our mission for the Internet, which is endorsed by senior management, is to use it to enhance Caltex's image and also to maximize shareholder value by positively impacting sales and profit.
This team is committed to making the site as user-friendly as possible. Operating companies and the Caltex International Marketing Center will provide input to make the website as interesting as possible. Heinz Grimm of Information Technology describes how he plans to provide the infrastructure support for this project.
One is the global side of it, in other words, advising other Caltex affiliates, other Caltex operating companies, what we're planning to do in terms of the Internet, what are going to be the corporate standards, and just making sure that that information is being communicated to everybody and everybody has a common understanding. The other part of it is to advise corporate communications on the technology to be used.
The site will be multifunctional to appeal to a variety of Internet users around the globe.
There is so much out there on the Internet that it's only those websites that have the ability to engage and inform and interact with the visitors that can attract customers and repeat customers. So our objective is to make our website as interactive and informative as possible.
And so the work goes on. In the end, the site will reflect the proper usage of the Caltex identity. Caltex.com will also provide links to Chevron and Texaco websites, as well as to all operating company sites. This is one incredible work in progress, coming soon to a computer screen near you.
The new Caltex star continues to rise, replacing the old around the Caltex world. Enthusiasm runs high for the new Caltex identity in Kenya. An upbeat multimedia show accompanied the launch of the new identity in this celebration on the 20th of June. In Indonesia, the new identity was launched by Caltex Pacific Indonesia during their strategic management meeting on March 3rd. Our star is standing stronger than ever as the company looks to the future. Caltex Video Magazine will continue to update you on launches of the new identity from around the globe. In Washington, D.C., South African Deputy President Thabo Mbeki was the honored guest at a luncheon concluding a session of the U.S. South African Binational Commission. Chairman David Law Smith attended the luncheon at the head table, seated with Mr. Mbeki and U.S. Vice President Al Gore. Mr. Gore and Mr. Mbeki addressed the commission and assembled guests.
We always try to keep the larger purpose of our work in sight, and that is the relationship between our two peoples. And we are very grateful for the opportunity we have to work together.
Clearly, the degree of structured interaction between our countries and governments and peoples is expanding continuously as a result of the work of the Binational Commission.
This was a unique opportunity for our chairman to discuss with leaders of both nations Caltex's long-standing business in South Africa and its contributions to change and development in that country. Caltex is proud to be a part of this important event. On August 1st, Mr. Stephen Nichols joined Caltex as Human Resources Vice President. Mr. Nichols holds degrees in psychology, psychometrics, and organizational development. He comes to Caltex with more than 30 years' experience in the field. We are pleased to welcome him into the Caltex world. A colorful fanfare of music and dance marked the grand opening of the first Caltex Loop Shop in mainland China. This shop is one of many to come, part of the Lube Business Unit's effort to raise brand awareness here. The opening of this dynamic, customer-friendly shop clearly shows the Caltex commitment to being the brand of choice in China. In March, 9 Caltex executives participated in the Executive Development Program. This unique seminar included sessions on the roles and responsibilities of a director, the principles and practices of leadership, the Caltex vision and values, and business strategies that lead to creating and sustaining the value of the company. These executives acquired the skills and knowledge to perform more effectively both as functional area executives and as members of a board of directors of a Caltex company. PT Caltex Pacific Indonesia hosted Chairman David Law Smith in their region in April. The chairman and CPI President James Haven toured various CPI facilities, including this operation in the largest oil field in Southeast Asia. Caltex Pacific Indonesia has been operating here since the 1950s and has made many positive contributions, both cultural and economic, to the region. The power of praise and positive feedback were key words for this recent management workshop in Dallas. Participants were given tips on how to give positive feedback and were shown how that can enhance overall job performance. Industry expert Jean Gilroy of Texaco conducted the Caltex session.
Research has shown that when you praise people for a performance or for a job well done, that they continue that performance. So hopefully if these folks can learn that praise, recognition for a particular job, for a particular task is important, that people, when they start giving feedback, their employees will start repeating and continue that particular task, that particular performance.
Caltex sponsorship of the 1998 Asian Games was officially announced at this press conference in Bangkok. The energy and action associated with this Olympic-style event is a great promotional platform for the new Caltex identity. Caltex is one of only 10 companies and the only oil company to sponsor the Games at the highest level. The Games will be held in Bangkok in December of 1998.
The Asian Games comes at a time when Caltex is revitalizing its image and its identity, and this provides an additional way that Caltex employees can find the enthusiasm, the motivation, and the pride that they look for in Caltex.
In Australia, gas created by landfill waste is being converted into electric power. In the land down under, there is a Caltex connection to this creative recycling process.
This peaceful strip of Australian grassland is really a gas field. This is Sunshine Energy Park near Melbourne, Australia. Once just a landfill for disposing of garbage, the site now pumps methane gas from the landfill into a nearby power plant. The plant, built and operated by GEC Alstom, generates 22,000 volts of electricity into the power grid for public use. Caltex has developed and continues to test and improve lubricants specifically for Sunshine Park and 2 other sites in the region, Berwick and Springvale.
We use the plants primarily as a development site for the GSDAR landfill series, and we've been monitoring the oil right from day one. And it's proved to be a very successful trial for us and led to full commercialisation of the product throughout the Caltex system.
Left alone, methane gas created by decomposing landfill waste naturally seeps through the landfill, preventing surface plant growth and potentially damaging the Earth's ozone layer. At these energy parks, the gas is pulled from the landfill through a matrix of pipes and wellheads. The gas is processed to remove water and impurities and is then used to power the enormous engines which drive the generators, producing electric power.
by utilising the methane gas in this manner, plant growth is able to be regenerated. Of course, it removes odour and it reduces the effect of the greenhouse gases by about 80%. And the fourth benefit is, of course, the electricity that is generated from this unusual fuel contributes to the reduction of the use of other fossil fuels for power generation.
Powering the engines with gas from the landfill presents a major technical challenge. The gas is highly acidic and corrosive to engine parts. Caltex is meeting the challenge with superior product and customer support. Caltex products used in these projects are developed here at the Caltex International Technical Center in Sydney. Oil samples are tested for any evidence of acid number increase or base number depletion. This, along with viscosity tests, reveal how the lubricants are holding up over time in the methane-fueled engines. Additionally, the engine's conditions are monitored by wear metal tests, also at the CITC. These ambitious projects are working due in large part to the diligent efforts of Caltex personnel. Landfills may be an unavoidable reality in today's urban-based society, but these projects prove they can have some beneficial uses. Caltex is there, helping to turn good ideas into good news for the environment.
It has been hailed as a defining moment in world history, the return of Hong Kong by the British government to the People's Republic of China. The handover is important, both politically and economically, to the world and to Caltex.
Hello and thanks for tuning in to Pearl. This is the Hong Kong 97 Spectacular and I'm Flora Chan.
And I'm Jeff Wong. We've just entered a new historic era as Hong Kong is now part of China.
July 1st, 1997, a much anticipated moment in time. After 156 years of British administrative control in Hong Kong, the banner was passed. Amid great pageantry and with the world watching, the flag of the United Kingdom was lowered and replaced with that of the People's Republic of China. Hong Kong is restored to China under the principle of one country, two systems. A new era has begun. Hong Kong, with its international port of call and a $155 billion economy, is a modern-day free market success story. After an intense transition period, the handover was handled diplomatically and with great optimism for the future. The ceremony was attended by a Caltex delegation, led by Chairman David Law Smith. The delegation was composed of Caltex Executive Vice President Guy Camrata, Chief Financial Officer Mac Macaulay, and Kurt Douglas, Chairman of Caltex Companies of Greater China. Former Caltex Chairman Pat Ward also attended as a special guest. A full slate of activities surrounded the handover celebration. As part of the Caltex visit, Mr. Law Smith visited with U.S. Consul General Richard Boucher at his residence and had lunch with Mrs. Anson Chan, Chief Secretary of Hong Kong. Caltex chief executives gathered for a dinner on the day before the official ceremony. On the final day of the festivities, Mr. Law Smith accepted a ceremonial sword at a farewell dinner hosted by Caltex Hong Kong. After receiving the sword as a memento of the historic occasion, the chairman spoke of the handover's significance to the corporation.
It has been so momentous and so historical that none of us will forget. But we should never forget those of you and your families that have looked after the privilege that Caltex has being here. And the corporation is committed to this particular part of China because of the success that you have generated in the last few years. I wish you and your families all the very, very best, and thank you very, very much for sharing this weekend with us.
Thanks for joining us once again for our look into the dynamic world of Caltex. We'll leave you now with more sights and sounds from the historic handover ceremonies in Hong Kong.